Princeton University used to recognize an organization known as Urban Congo, but after they did a very controversial performance as part of the Expressions organization, they have decided that they should disband because their performance was beyond offensive, and many of the black students at the university felt that it was also racist. So there's a screenshot of their performance. We have a video for you in just a second, but I want to give you some context into the video before you watch it. So one of the videos, there were actually two of them. One of them was posted last year, and then there was one posted this past weekend. One of the videos, which was taken down by the group but recorded and reposted to YouTube, shows Urban Congo's members, most, if not all of whom, appear to be white males, with painted streaks on their faces and bodies, wearing loincloths and banging on objects while chanting. Okay, so with that said, let's take a look at the video. We have a snippet of it for you guys, and we'll discuss. So throughout the entire performance, the audience was laughing. It was obvious that they did it for comical reasons. The official student organization directory, in this official student organization directory, Urban Congo says it provides an opportunity for spontaneous percussion experimentation in communal settings. So people were outraged by this, and again, it was a recognized organization, part of Princeton, and after the officials and administrators at the university saw this, they were upset, and so the organization had to disband.
I'm largely confused. What was it that they were trying to do, and what part of it was offensive?
Well, they were trying to mock African culture in their performance. You're okay with that?
Kind of.
Really?
Yeah, that might surprise people, but I think if you're mocking African Americans, that's different than if you're mocking general geographic regions. And I think probably a lot of people will disagree with me, but if they did this like...
I don't think that they were, I think that they were specifically targeting the Republic of Congo.
In some ways, I think that makes it better. So for example, if they did some sort of mockery of Turkey, right, where I'm originally from, and they had the fezzes and they had all that stuff. I don't know, but if they're mocking Muslim Americans overall, right? Then I'd say, hey, whoa, what's going on here, right?
Right, but Muslim Americans are currently being discriminated against and hated on in the country, right?
That's right.
African Americans are being shot dead when they're unarmed.
That's right.
So they're
that's
dealing
why I
with
would object to
discrimination
those things. But whereas I feel like the country of Turkey or Congo can defend themselves. Do you see
really? No, I don't see what you're saying. Because right now, the black students at this Ivy League school feel like they're constantly being discriminated against, that they are constantly in a hostile environment for education. And so to have an organization that's recognized by the university do these performances where they mock black people, they're offended by it. And I think that that totally makes sense.
I think that, again, it depends, right? So I don't know what they were trying to get at. So we didn't see the whole video, obviously. We didn't see the whole performance. None of the information we have is remotely funny, but that's divorced from its context, right? And it seems inexplicable, right? And I actually have a theory as to why they did this, right? And it doesn't have anything to do with racism. So, but if you wanted to make fun of, like, for example, older ways of dressing, you know, my pet peeve is people who get dressed in funny outfits, right? Whether it's Orthodox Jews who go around in the Russian clothes from the 19th century, it's Muslims with the hat and the outfit, and then it's the Pope with his funny red shoes and the Wizard of Oz outfit and all that stuff. I think I definitely open game, open season. You make fun of that.
I think it's problematic when the university recognizes an organization that goes out of their way to do that. I think that that's when it's problematic, because it sends a message to the student body that the university is totally okay with their organizations making fun of entire groups of people like that.
See, we definitely need more context on this because it's all in the nuance. You know, of course, nobody's saying here that you can't ever make fun of Congo. Of course, we believe you can make fun of Congo or the continent of Africa. It depends on the context, right? And so this could have been deeply offensive. It could have been not that big a deal. Now, here's my theory as to why they actually did it. They just wanted to go around without their clothes on, okay? No,
you don't know that.
No, I do. Of course, it's speculation on my part, but I know, right? Dudes that have like six packs or whatever, they're like any excuse to take their shirts off, right? So they're like, okay, what can we come up with? What can we come up with? Oh, what if we pretended to be, Africans, and then so we did a tribal dance so we could all take our clothes off and walk around with our good buddies. You notice there's not a single fat person in that video.
Yeah,
okay?
but I don't see Adonis up there either. Like,
no, a couple of guys have six packs here, as I could tell.
Can we watch the video again?
Okay. And it's also part of this college thing that I never understood when I was in college. Like all the frat guys, they love to get naked with one another, right? They're like, oh yeah, dude, bro, let's see each other's penises, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so they love to take their clothes off and walk around. I never got it, right? But they do.
By the way,
I think that's part of the reason they did this.
I don't know if they're all part of a frat, okay?
No,
All
I'm
I
saying
know
general college culture, sometimes in the frats, sometimes in these absurd groups. Either way, it appears that it was ill-advised.
It was ill-advised. So they have agreed to disband, and the organization no longer exists.
There's perceived savagery and less than human perceptions of even African Americans because of their cultural roots, which a lot of people don't even know where it is because of slavery. But that's just where it kind of begins. So if you, before we mentioned it many times on the air because it was years ago, and Limbaugh said to a black caller, take the bone out of your nose. That's not an American thing, imagery that we have. It's an African imagery that we have. So it was an African-American caller, but take the bone out of your nose because you're so savage, you're so back in the past, you don't know anything. What language do you speak? It's all in that whole feel is where the loincloths and the beating on the drums things come from. Because, by the way, black folks are proud of the rhythm and music culture of their African roots, which a lot of us don't even know. But they're proud of that stuff, but when it's put on stage as something that's funny, then you're calling them less than human. So your ancestors were less than human, therefore that's why you're still beneath us. And it's coming from a place like Princeton, which still has that perception and still maybe have those groups of privileged kids that are like, see, listen, and it's attacking those that they perceive are less than them. And they're in a position when they become the head of businesses and CEOs to still not respect other human beings. I think that's maybe where some of the disgust comes from.
Jared's making a very good point. Look, I think that part of my gut instinct is, well, there are, people who play the drums and who do the tribal stuff, right? So are we not allowed to present that at all? That seems weird to just call that racist. But it's one thing when Africans are doing that because they enjoy it and it's part of their heritage. It's another thing when a group of privileged kids comes in and mocks it. So that's a fair point.
Yeah, it's all about the execution of it, right? So if you're doing it to celebrate it, that's totally different. If you're doing it to mock it, which is what they were doing in that video, then it's offensive.
Again, it's a fine line because if you're doing something to mock religion, then I'm with you. If you're doing something to mock groups of people based on that religion or race or ethnicity or any other thing, then I'm against you, right? And a lot of people have trouble understanding that, right? So in this case, it's not about religion, but it's, you could make an argument that you guys are making, which is that it's against a group of people, or you can make an argument that, that it's targeting one particular country and then that it wasn't, I guess they would make the argument that we weren't mocking them, we were just,
They haven't made that argument. They did apologize. So let me read you their apology really quickly. They said, we want to apologize for the offense any of our actions may have caused. We are working with the university to encourage open dialogue on this issue and are listening to your concerns. We recognize that nothing we can say or do will reverse our actions or the insult they have caused, but want you to know that we are actively working to address this problem. We wanted to first make sure we took down any and all offensive media.
I know, but they're running for the hills. They're not going to come back around and be like, "Oh yeah, it was a great idea." No, they're like, "Oh, sorry,
Well,
please stop talking about it."
Yeah, well, they know it was a bad idea because it was a bad idea.